So, in this digital landscape, anyone can start a brand. But what really makes a brand stand out? It's not only in these days important to have beautiful aesthetic and compelling copy, but it's also who's at the center of your brand story. And given that this flow's theme is about standing out from the crowd, I'm really excited to talk about how the brand I work for harnesses user generated content in our e commerce visual strategy. So, my name is Doreen Pierre. I'm the director of content and social strategy for a small brand named Kirrin Finch. We make menswear inspired clothing for women, trans, and non binary folk. So, the suit I'm wearing, which I didn't even realize I'm matching this model here, um, was made by Kirrin Finch. We have suits across different categories, everything from Italian wool suits to more blended suits out of like India, for instance. But we have different types of suits for different needs. And a lot of our customers will get married in our suiting, go to galas or corporate events, important meetings in our suiting. We are a 10-year-old brand. We are less than 15 employees, pretty small. And this company was born out of our founders looking for this type of clothing and not being able to find it in the menswear section in a way that fit their bodies and reflected their experiences. And thought, hey, there's other people out there that feel the same way. Let's make a brand about it. And here I am being a part of that community and being so proud to uh, represent the brand today here as their director of content. So I'm realizing I did not include a slide in here about what UGC is, but for anyone who doesn't know, it does stand for user generated content. And it's just an important driver of authenticity and providing social proof when you're leveraging this type of content for your brand. And it's any kind of content that is made by customers or fans or sometimes paid by influencers that provide real reviews, just real opinions about a brand, the product, the experience that people have had with their products and how it solves a problem for them. So why does it matter? People are becoming increasingly fatigued at like traditional marketing techniques. 90% of consumers say authenticity is important when deciding which brands they like and support. And it's just difficult these days to cut through the noise um, right now at all. There's just a lot of content out there. There's a lot of brands. We're all competing for space in people's brains right now. So just being able to leverage UGC is just a great way of continuing to cut through the noise and showing real examples again of how your products solve an issue for your community or consumer base. Engagement increases by 28% when consumers can view a mixture of user generated product videos and official brand authored content. I think if we're all here today, we're really excited about making beautiful visuals. Am I right? Right, right. Yes, and I do think and I love, the importance of, again, like, creating a visual aesthetic, a visual guideline, a visual curation of what we want these brands to look like. That's very important, and I don't think we should move away from that, but incorporating, again, some social proof, some content created by consumers or fans also helps to boost credibility. I don't know about you guys, but I will sit in a research hole all day looking at reviews before I buy something. If I see a product that has no reviews, I'm skeptical about buying it. Is that the same for everyone here? Right. So we trust word of mouth. We trust people who have actually tried things out. So again, mixing this in is a great way of just again boosting your credibility and boosting engagement when it comes to your consumer base. And 41% of marketers claim that they have their hands full when it comes to content creation. I don't know if this is a claim, it is really the honest truth. Demand for content has gotten higher and higher, especially on social platforms. We're expected to be on there all the time. First, it was like geared towards short form. Now they want longer form, like algorithms change, needs change. But for internal teams, we're expected to produce more and to have them across all different channels. And so leveraging UGC allows you to take some of that load off of your internal team's plate. And again, just leverage UGC that's been submitted either by consumers or paid for by high quality influencers and things like that. So here's some of the stuff that we do at Kieran Finch. I wanted to start with web. This isn't UGC, but we do use real models in our campaigns just as a way to reflect back to our consumers that we are a part of the community too. And it's interesting. It's not I think we had like a no, it's not even I think. We had a beautiful model here. I think their name was Daphne, and they were really efficient. And that's the great thing about using models that come from agencies. They really know what they're doing. They're trained in what they're doing. But for us, it was really important for us to harness and to showcase our real community members, real customers also in our campaigns, especially for a community that's not often represented in mainstream fashion conversations. So this is something I just wanted to mention. If you're trying to do a shoot that features real people as models, you definitely want to handle them with the same care, if not even more care, as models you would get from an agency. Again, they're not going to be trained, so you want to make sure you have prompts for them, you provide them with references, mood boards, in order for them to, in order for you to get the outcome you're looking for in these shoots. Make sure you're implementing like a release form, being clear about how the images will be used and for how long is really important. And if you can, pay them. These are, these are real folks, but like you still want to pay them and compensate them for their time. Modeling work is difficult and it does, it does put strain on the body also. I also found that it's helpful to pre-screen anyone we'll be working with and looking for that star quality, looking for how they engage, with their own followers, whether it be on social media, researching their internet presence, or even jumping on a video call with them to see like what they bring to the table. So we'll move on from there. Going into like the web experience, this is just a no-brainer. I'm not really sure I've been on many modern sites right now that don't include customer reviews, but there is data to suggest that allowing customers to, or using platforms that allow customers to submit reviews that include visual media also boost and can boost conversions. So it's not only important for people to be able to read, customer reviews, but if customers are incentivized to also submit imagery of their experience, it allows people to see with their own eyes, like, oh, okay, this person is really, how this person really has experienced this product and what makes them really happy about wearing that specific thing. Here on our blog, we have this series called Real Weddings, where we will feature the real weddings of customers who have bought our suiting. And in this case, it's just, again, a really important way to both celebrate our customers and also provide inspiration for other customers who may be coming and looking for a suit for something like a wedding or a big day. Also helps with SEO on our website and things like that. And for this specific series, we'll actually incentivize customers to submit their wedding photos to us in their stories, and we'll give them a gift card in exchange for that. And as you know, well, I don't know how many people in here are married, but you spend lots of money getting beautiful pictures for your wedding day on the things you wear, and so them sharing this with us is just it's a beautiful thing, but it also allows them to again spread the joy of the beautiful day they've had. So we usually get a lot of high quality content from this as well that we can repurpose on other platforms like social or email as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on email, but it is a great driver of revenue for a lot of brands. And what's great about email is that you own it and can segment it and blast to whatever groups of consumers you want to do so. But we usually extend the use of our blog by again sending out a blast to our consumers about, here's a recent feature of this couple, or sometimes even further down the line, we'll do like a roundup of couples we featured maybe over the past 3 months or something like that. There's a lot of use cases and ways to repurpose UGC, whether it be a quote, whether it be the imagery across marketing channels. In social media, we've done everything from UGC highlights like carousels, as well as paid UGC. And I wanted to spend some time on talking about paid UGC because I think it's just it's an interesting tactic. I feel like um, if you allow your influencer to bring their creative freedom to the forefront, I think it can feel more authentic than if you provide a full script. So I think that's something to keep in mind. I think what I like about paid UGC is that usually these are folks who have a social presence already. They have a specific aesthetic, so you're able to see if does this person fit our brand mission, what we're trying to put out there, and they usually provide high quality content for you in a very short amount of time. There's not a lot of coaching there, versus like again doing this internally. The one on the far left was UGC we did in exchange for product, and this was pitched to us by someone who is trans. Their name is Madi, and they wanted a new suit to go to their friend's wedding, and they are actually like a comedian in real life, and I really got to see how their personality showed through. So it's all about seeing like what expertise or what ways that a influencer or someone who wants to create UGC can bring to the table and leveraging that. Is it more expertise in like styling? Is it more storytelling? There's different ways that you can leverage different users for different goals. So things to keep in mind for social media UGC. Again, you just want to make sure you're protecting yourself legally. Um, Defining UGC parameters is also important. Like, so stating what types you seek and how you'll reward engagement is important. And if you are going to reward folks who submit UGC, talk about it in all different places, so that people will submit their images, their videos to you, and that you'll be able to use that for your brand story or across marketing channels. And with influencers, as I was stating before, you don't want it to feel like it's an ad. You want it to feel natural. You want it to feel like they're able to provide their perspectives, ideas, and real, again, like expertise about what they're putting on their bodies or however they're using the product in order for it to feel like it's not just something you paid for, but really a partnership between that brand and the influencer. Additional examples, I just wanted to highlight some brands that I have found to be really exciting. Has everyone heard of Fenty Beauty in here? Okay. Does everyone love Rihanna? If you don't love Rihanna, you can go. Um, but I think they do a great job. And while this isn't UGC, like Rihanna being at the forefront of her brand is just a really great tactic. Founder-led content is also on trend. So again, if you have a founder who's, I don't know, really fun, maybe Thomas, who can be at the forefront to kind of speak to and show behind the scenes. That's something that people really enjoy. But something that Fenty Beauty does is really, I feel like they're really on the pulse of trends, and that's really exciting about them. So at the bottom of their homepage here, they have a series of reels here by different creators, and Fenty is so great because it's really disrupted the beauty market and made products that people have been looking for a long time across different skin tones, and so focusing on like this trend, like beauty content is so huge, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you'll see these videos. But showing people of different skin tones using product and making it clickable, like you can click right into this product here and see how it's used or how to buy it is just really exciting. And then once you get to, hold on, I think, yep, you get to the homepage here, they do use a mixture of, again, curated. They have this like clean, beautiful, like imagery made in studio or maybe on a lifestyle set. But also, again, this speaks to them being on the pulse. They're showing here a UGC style video. I don't know if this is a UGC creator or not, but to the naked eye, I would think it is. And they're also incorporating like, that like, looks like a filter you might find on TikTok that shows you how to contour your makeup. I don't even wear makeup like that, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This would help me a lot. But and then on the page itself, there's a section, if you see on the far left, of how to see it in action. So that's feels like a continuation of the theme that's happening on the homepage. And as you scroll down to the bottom, there are like reviews featured there. Um, and you'll see a lot of people submit images of them using the makeup or having the makeup on, which is definitely important for folks. This one's a really exciting one. I went to a session yesterday with somebody named Frankie, and they talked about Apple shot on iPhone, but this one is a very popular UGC style like campaign that Apple has I think has really been a great idea. And even though I feel like they're using probably creators who know how to use photo gear or video gear. I still feel like it speaks to the humanity in all of us. I mean, who's not taking pictures of their kids or dogs on their phones? I think if I'm seeing that and I'm not a person who is a content creator, I still would be excited about what I could do with my phone and what I could capture with my phone. Across their entire social feed, they'll feature content from uh from users who have shot things on iPhone. And again, I do still think the content feels very much like whoever's been shooting this has been able to maximize what the iPhone can do, but it still feels like aspirational. It still feels like something that who's picking up an iPhone can aspire to shooting on their own phone, as well as doing something for like this for like International Women's Day, where they made a carousel of creator like user generated content and included some quotes um from women creators on their social feed, and that's just a really easy way to then engage with your consumer base but also celebrate a beautiful day such as International Women's Day. And the last brand I'll talk about is Doc Martens. I think they do a great job of, again, being on the pulse. On their homepage, they feature creators, user generated content at the bottom here. And I like that they make it really easy also to upload an image if you wanted to right here. Like making it easy for customers to submit their imagery is definitely going to help you in the long run. And also, let's see here, in their like blog content and stuff, because I think this recording was way too long here, but in their content they also include like user generated photos within their styling guides, so you really get an understanding of how people style it versus it being like a curated thing created in a studio. But I think, yeah, Doc Martens does a great job of just incorporating their users into their content and again boosting credibility here about it as well. So that's where I'm at. Is there any questions?
I'm sure we'll have a lot of questions here.
All
Or
right.
is it, Doreen? You ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll take it from the top here.
Yes.
When you use real people as
Mhm.
models, you never called me, but
I never called you. I'm
that's
so
not
sorry, Tom.
okay.
So
But
sorry.
how difficult is the sample process in making sure you get those different sizes for a shot in time?
Yes. Okay, so yeah, over my past 3 years of being at Kirrin Finch, I've really worked through and optimizing the process. So what we do is months in advance of like a specific seasonal shoot, we will start doing fittings. So that's me going out and seeing who I can find. Sometimes we reuse certain models, especially if we haven't shot with them before, so that we do the fitting process so we know what sizes these folks are. And then I work with our production team to then ask these factories for the right samples. So definitely getting ahead and pre planning is the most important thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm going because there's the top one here is a little interesting, right? In regards to paid UGC versus organic.
Mhm.
Can you talk about transparency towards your customers in regards to use of paid UGC, solicited professional influencers versus organic UGC? I mean, unprompted customers posting pictures, videos, etc.
Yes, I can. I think there's a goal in usage. It's just different. Again, I think if things are too scripted or it feels too forced, it's not going to come off as authentic. And again, I also think that not again, this is a new thought. But paid UGC is also a more cost-effective way of working with influencers. They usually charge more for you to get them to post to their own pages. So again, it's just more cost effective to do so. But again, making it feel real is in working with and partnering with that influencer to make sure that they do come off transparent. You don't want them to give fake reviews or to pretend everything's sparkly if it's not. But definitely working with folks who are just aligned with like your vision, your aesthetic, or yeah, are really excited our product, I think is really helpful there. Um, I don't know, like transparency, it depends. Like if someone's really popular, someone may already know that like, hey, this is Sierra Strickland. That was an example of one of the creators we work with. Like we know that their page is queer fashion based. Like, and we're excited to see them on your page now. So people can also be really excited about partnerships you do have with influencers too. But also already trust this person to provide them with advice. But I do think it's always amazing when you can get like at the baseline, like a real customer to speak to it in a way that feels raw, that feels authentic, and feels true to their experiences. So I think there's
Hmm,
good use case for both.
perfect. Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Uh, The one from the top here again. What do you believe is next once customers become fatigued with social UGC? And do you see a trend in it, whether there's a fatigue kind of starting or
I think I would say right now, like I don't know the future, okay?
don't?
But I do think that people are becoming more fatigued with maybe influencer content. There was also like this trend, which was really strange, I think, when TikTok was about to die, of influencers like giving, like saying, like, oh, yeah, I lied about this or lied about that. Like, again, like a lot of stuff has become scripted, like influencer, I think, what is the word? Just culture it's just become a lot of monotonous. Uh it's just become monotonous in a lot of ways. So I think it's definitely people just want raw, want more authentic. I'm not sure what's next after UGC, but I do think that it's still going to continue to be a driver of getting those like peer review testimonials. I still think it's going to be really important. I think it's less so about like people want less scripted things. People want less curated things. They wanna feel that raw connection.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you. From the top, on our lifestyles, how many looks are you able to capture in a day?
Um, let's see here. I would say about, like, 30 looks we're able to capture, and we'll do, like, alternating between, like, f e-commerce, like PDP imagery to like using a colored seamless to do some sort of lifestyle imagery on set, as well as video and social content. And then we'll usually do another shoot that focuses specifically on lifestyle. So we'll go to a location or like we'll hit the streets and take some images there just to showcase the product in real environments.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, cool. I'll just take the top one here as well because you mentioned a bit about being on the safe side in terms of legal,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you run into issues when using UGC where the image rights are owned by a third party, a wedding photographer, for instance? And how do you navigate the usage process between subject and photographer?
It honestly depends on the photographer themselves. Sometimes the photographer wants you to sign a release form for them. Also, some photographers don't want you to use their photos in ads, for instance, which makes sense. It's like you're getting money for work that I've done without me getting a cut of it. But some don't really care, so it just really depends. We'll reach out usually to the customer themselves. We'll make sure we credit the photographer and anything we use them for, use the images or videos for. So that's how we do it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to the second one from
Okay.
because if
Okay.
you really want to get into this, there's something about motivating people, right?
Yes.
What is your most effective method for encouraging people to post their own content? And do you do what and is there something you particularly do to make it happen?
Yeah, I think the most effective way of encouraging anyone to do anything is to pay them. Um, um, we don't have a large budget for that, but usually like giving a gift card or maybe doing some sort of like a giveaway is a great way to encourage people to submit large batches of content. We'll share on social that maybe we're looking for someone who's wearing a specific new product that we've sent out. Maybe we'll send an email blast asking for folks to submit reviews and in exchange for a discount for a number of days. Like you'll get a 10% discount for the next 20 days if like not next 20 days, but you can use it within the next 20 days, not 10% every day of the 20 days. If you get what I mean. But like there's ways to incentivize people to do that. And also in platforms like Judge Me, which we use for our reviews. I think there's automations you can set, or even within your email platform that you can set to ask people after they've made a purchase to submit a review and potentially incentivize them for doing things like submitting a photo with their review and things like that if that's one of the goals you have for your UGC strategy.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Then in the previous talk, we just heard a little bit about a pretty famous basketball player, right?
LeBron James.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on endorsements?
On who?
On celebrity endorsements?
Oh, celebrity.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Have you ever used a
I think
And what would you appreciate if you had LeBron all of a sudden come and
I'd appreciate if
on
we
your
had you,
suits?
Thomas.
Okay.
But so I mean, it depends on the person. I think most people are really connected to celebrities and want to see what celebrities are wearing. So if you're able to leverage that, again, it costs a lot of money to work with celebrities. We did do a campaign with Mal Wright. I don't know if anyone in here has watched the Ultimatum Queer Love, but they came out of there and I don't know, they did a great job on the show and really liked them as a human, and we worked with them on a campaign, and again, it just I think it's really about what insights have you thought about that make it relevant to work with this celebrity? Like,
Mm,
it just has to make sense. If
yeah.
it's again, if this person like a LeBron James, like I would want to see what his workout is, what he eats, or like, where he has fun. Like,
So
but
sense.
yeah, it just has to make sense
Yeah.
for like what you're trying to sell or who you're trying to approach and seeing that if those audiences align with what you're trying to do as a brand so that the reach is strategic and that you're getting back from it what you've put in, which is probably a good amount of money.
Okay. Good.
But yeah.
Last question.
Yeah.
We have a minute 35 left. Okay.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we're making great time.
We are.
Yeah.
Good. What are some patterns that you look for in UGC? Do you have some pattern recognition that you'd like to see before you execute on UGC?
I don't really fully understand the question. Like
Um,
patterns.
like patterns like uh, pattern recognition, right? Like, is there some? Do you have some specific things you're looking for in UGC when you choose to use UGC and the way you use it?
Um, I think we're looking for an emotional connection.
Yeah.
Um, again, like people are looking for connection, not necessarily like sales driven content. So if you see someone who's really had a great experience and can showcase like, wow, this really changed my life. I was able to show up confidently. I was able to show up authentically. I feel like that's what we're looking for. I think also storytelling and flow is really important. Again, you don't want it to feel like it's scripted or robotic or fake. You want it to feel like this person has really gone through this situation and come out with a solution. So I think those are the patterns I'm looking for as well as like again, does this person align with our community? Um and that's really it for me. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.